We're back. The best of food and wine with Anthony Gismondi and Kasey Wilson, live from the Wines of Canada stage at the 2017 Vancouver International Wine Festival. Now, here's Tony and Kasey.
Welcome back to the Best of Food and Wine. I'm Tony Gismondi.
I'm Kasey Wilson.
We are speaking to a number of wine people tonight. We have another winemaker with us, an important winemaker from the Okanagan Valley. Nikki Callaway joins us from Quails. Nikki, how are you?
I'm good, and you guys?
Good, surviving. It's early days.
So far, yeah.
You've been in a few seminars.
Yesterday there was about 3 seminars, and today all-day tastings, and it just continues for the next few days.
Yeah, and a big public presence as well.
It's been huge.
This is kind of a calm night
and
for tasters, but it gets hairier and hairier.
No, it's been great so far. Nobody's drunk too much yet.
No, and you've got some new releases coming out.
We've been bottling for the last month or so already, and hopefully as soon as we start to switch around our vintages, we should be able to get some of the new wines out in the next month or so.
Yeah. Well, just before we get to them, I want to back up because you made a great wine last year late in the year, a Beaujolais Nouveau style wine, which was shocking and delicious.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the team at Quailsgate was too impressed to have to put a wine to bottle 6 weeks after harvest.
Right.
It was a big feat, but I think it was successful, and I'd be happy to do it again. Yeah.
You think you'll do it again, or?
Well, it depends on the year, but I would like to.
What made you make that decision?
Well, personally, I didn't really want to make it about the wine. It was about the reason behind the wine. And I think that the Okanagan especially needs a bit more of that understanding of culture.
Yes.
In Europe, everybody's
Totally.
life shut down for harvest, and the village comes together to support how hard you work. And to put a wine together that fast and have it on the release date, the 3rd Thursday in November, and just prove, we need the community to understand what it takes to make a wine like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was fun and a beautiful label, too, so congrats on that. Okay, so you brought a couple wines in. We'll start with them because we always get behind time. Riesling's doing so well in BC. Do you feel like the style is shifting a bit, that it's
Indeed, I think
it's a drier,
in general,
more electric wine?
Yeah. I think the era of everyone loving residual sugar is luckily dying off, and people are really understanding the idea of fruit-forward wines and balanced wines.
Yeah.
You don't need sugar to make a sexy wine.
Yeah.
And I really do think that Rieslings are spectacular, and there's enough fruit and balance there that you don't need to pile it with more residual than acid. And
You call yours a dry Riesling. They have for some time, but probably isn't necessary anymore.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're true. It's a little redundant.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your Riesling. Simple? It's made simply? You don't do too much? Or
I try to do a little cold soak. Work in the vineyards. It's mostly East Kelowna and West Kelowna fruit. It's just supposed to be a very refreshing, very cold, sippable Riesling. They age quite well, effectively. There's quite a lot of old vintages at Quailsgate that we've been tasting through.
Yep.
This is new and vibrant, and tons of lemon zest and lime cordial and apples, and just a really fresh Riesling. Fun. I don't think it's one of the most complex wines I make, no, but it does actually have some strength and stability.
well, when you live in the Okanagan and it's 35 degrees some days, it's kind of a nice wine to have. Handy.
Yes.
Well, the price, I think, is unbelievable at $15.
I agree.
But prices haven't gone up that much with Quailsgate in the past 10 years. Some haven't gone up at all. Some have gone up $5.
Yeah, I think the family is kept true to consistency of consumers, and they've always wanted to maintain their price value,
Yes.
It's nice to see, but again, everybody complains about the Okanagan wines being so expensive. I think they're pretty price-worthy for what they are, for a lot of them.
Okay. I can't wait to talk about this wine. You brought along for us to try the 2014 Stewart Family Reserve Chardonnay. Now, you have a number of Chardonnays going on there, but the project it seems like it's fun. It seems like you're having fun making Chardonnay there.
I love the Chards at Quailsgate. Yeah. They're pretty impressive.
Yeah. So how is the hierarchy, and how do you sort them all out now?
Well, Quailsgate's the base, and I just want that to be an easy drinking, not over oaky, very soft type of wine that you come home from a bad day at work and you open the fridge, you can depend on it. Bigger volume, there is some grower fruit, contract fruit. It's just to be kept at that $20 value. And then from there, we've started to build 2 SKUs. I like to say that one's a little bit more masculine, one's a little more feminine. The Stewart Family Reserve is more of the big boy.
Yep.
There's a little bit higher of an oak influence because it's been the flagship, and it's been tendency to always be that way in the history, and you can't really change a wine that's, been around for many years.
Right.
The Rosemary's Block is its sister, and she's a lot softer and a lot more Burgundian, a lot more of those confectionery notes and brioche, and a lot more of the acid and fruit coming forward. So it just depends on people's preferences, the meals that you're pairing them with. And it's been quite successful to show people that the exact same blocks and the exact same fruit from the same winery and same winemaker can be so distinctly different.
Yeah.
And is there something you like to serve with it? Do you have a pairing
A few
favorite?
people that have been coming to the table have asked that, and I think today it's tasting a lot like scallops, lobster, sablefish, somebody said.
Right.
Even a cream-based sauce.
Yes.
It goes very, very well with food. It's
Yes.
a beautiful wine.
You, when you took over at Quails Gate, it's always the big question: how much can you do, and how soon can you do it, or maybe you don't want to do anything. But you've made some changes in the style of the wine. Are you done, or is it an ongoing thing, or?
I think every day is an ongoing thing. Wine
Yeah.
changes, nature changes, the environment changes, I change. I think 2016, I finally feel like I finally got a stronghold and understood
Yeah.
what blocks that I felt were superior and what I want to do. And yeah, that's what's part of the interest in the wine industry is you never get it right 100%, and it's always that trial and error to an extent, with keeping consistency of a SKU and appreciating the family values.
Yeah. Sometimes people forget that. I mean, you have a large following for a wine, and people say, oh, you should do this or that, but a lot of people love the wine the way it is, and it's hard to change it.
Yeah, and I think also as a winemaker, you can't make a wine that pleases your palate. You've got to make it and realize that not everybody tastes the same way you do, and there's a consistency and a reason for having so many different wines out there.
You're in a great spot in the valley, I think. I love that positioning now. I mean, so many people want to be further south, and it was warmer and that, but I think you're really in a sweet spot for making really elegant, stylish wines that can age. Do you feel like that?
I agree.
In that region?
I mean, I'm a little biased, but yes, I do think the vineyards that Quails Gate has around the winery are some of the best spots in the northern part of the valley.
And you got a big development going on across the valley too. Will that help you in many ways, or
what is the development?
The family has had a big tree nursery in East Kelowna for many, many years, and they've just retaken it over as this part of the Stewart family, and it's 200 acres of unplanted land.
Wow.
And so we're going to double the size of our production and have a second winery facility up there, and it's a massive feat to continue growing as well as expand that far. We also are planning on what vineyards to rip out, replant over there, so we can concentrate our better varietals on the more precise spots around Quails Gate. So there's a lot of 10-year planning and strategy.
Wow,
that's
amazing.
A pretty big feat to take on at the same time as continue to make 80 to 100,000 cases a year.
Right.
Yeah.
So when will they start planting?
We are starting May 1st.
And when will we see vines where you can make wine?
3 years. 3 years, and maybe we'll go into some of the base wines.
So this is the celebration for Canada, and Canada's a theme country at the festival. Is there anybody that you really admire in winemaking in Canada?
I admire a lot of people. I think I admire in general what the Okanagan has done in such a short amount of time, especially I've only been in the valley 5 or 6 years, and I can't believe the leaps and bounds of quality and consistency. I'm proud of the pioneering aspect. I'm proud that we're slowly, getting less and less humble and really standing up for some of our wines. We don't need to compare ourselves to Burgundy or Bordeaux any longer. We have our own stamp, we have our own style, and we're being more precise in what we're able to do. And I think that's a pretty spectacular feat to be taking on at 125 years as a country. France and Italy have had wine industries for thousands of years.
Exactly.
You start consumers that 10, 15 years ago would have rather drink rye and beer than have a glass of wine. And now look at how many people are here appreciating the difference in varietals. That's spectacular.
Talking about stirring lees.
Yeah, the questions you get now, it's not just what's the sweet one, what's the pink one.
Exactly.
Now it's an understanding, is that wine oaked? What's the percentage of oak? The questions are way more detailed. It's fantastic. I mean, it's the consumers and the industry that have both really put an effort into making us something special.
Well, I think a lot of other non-European countries have discovered that they have terroir too. and it's made a big difference. Once they buy into that, then I think the sky's the limit with the kind of wines you can make. You're certainly having fun making wines.
Yeah, not every day. Some days there's issues in the cellar you don't want to deal with. The bottling line is down, apparently. The 1 week I'm away, everything crashes at the winery.
Oh, wow. Go to Hawksworth and
exactly.
send them a text.
Just drink.
Or the Old Vines restaurant, which is a wonderful restaurant.
Yes, yeah. I've actually been talking to quite a few people in Vancouver that admit they've never even been up to the Okanagan yet. So
Wow.
that's got to change. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't go this week with the snow and highways.
It's a little better
down.
than last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty wicked.
Apparently there's quite a few winemakers that never made it out here from the East Coast because
That's right.
they got stuck in the
Yes,
storms.
that's
did, yeah.
right.
Well, Nikki, it's great to catch up with you and fun to taste both of these two wines. They're both out in the marketplace now.
Yes.
By the way, the special wines, how do we get those? Do we have to belong to the Quails Gate Wine Club, or how does that work?
The special
Do we have to know the
wines,
winemaker,
you have to know the
or-
winemaker and say the special passcode and maybe buy me a rose.
Yeah.
They are in the wine shop. A lot of them are just sold directly in the wine shop. You
Okay.
can get them in the wine club. There is a lot of good packages with the wine club. I think that we're trying our hardest as a team to try to get them out to more restaurants, especially in Vancouver,
Okay.
Whistler, locally,
Yep.
because they're spectacular wines. And I think the more people that have a chance to drink them, the prouder I am. So
Yeah.
I really hope that as a team at Quails Gate, we really try to get these wines out.
Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks, guys.
Keep
Thanks,
going.
Nikki.
Don't let them beat you down up there.
I won't.
You got a big year of work. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Best of Food and Wine.
Thanks, guys.
Nikki Callaway, she's the chief winemaker at Quails Gate, and we've been tasting her dry Riesling and the Stewart Family Reserve Chardonnay, both widely available around the Lower Mainland and, of course, online and at the winery. It's year 39 here in Vancouver. There's a lot of people in the tasting room tasting wines from all around the world. Canada's the theme, and we are on top of it at 650 East. Best of Food and Wine. I'm Tony Gismondi. She's Kasey Wilson, and we'll be right back.
We're live from the Wines of Canada stage at the 2017 Vancouver International Wine Festival. There's more of the show coming up in just 2 minutes.